Good morning guys, happy Monday. Welcome to another video and another week of marathon training. This week is going to be structured very similar to last week and the week before. We're just kind of building on, what I've been doing. So slightly more mileage, slightly different workouts, but kind of generally the same. A little wet and rainy this morning, which is unfortunate, but I'd rather actually have the rain than just straight humidity at this point. It's been just so humid and so hot this past week. So we'll see how this week goes. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good. So we're gonna start off on Monday with a 4-mile run. We're gonna try and keep it in the range between an 8:15 and an 8:30. Let's get it done. Workout is done. So actually able to keep it right in the range that I wanted to. I'm really trying to be a little bit more mindful about watching my watch, especially for my Monday and my Wednesday runs, which tend to be quicker, higher pace. I really, just struggle with taking the pace too fast and then burning out by the middle or the end. So I was able to keep it right around an 8:20 the whole time, which I was really happy about. I feel pretty good, legs feel good, feel strong. I'm gonna go do a little bit of stretching, roll out, have some breakfast, and then might go to a little coffee shop just to get out of the house a little bit and do a little bit of work. Good morning guys, happy Tuesday. So just got back from the gym, going on a little rainy walk this morning. So I figured instead of just talking about like the breakdown of my week, I figured I'd kind of talk a little bit more this week about what running has taught me personally and kind of like how I got into it. So I've actually been running since middle school. I was on my track team in middle school and high school, but I was really pretty horrible and I hated it at the time. I really was just doing it to stay active and really mainly to socialize, honestly, with my friends. But growing up, my dad has always been a big recreational runner. At the time when I was living at home, we lived in Buffalo, New York, and I would see him get up every single day, regardless of whether it was sunny, raining, or a freaking blizzard. He would get out the door and go for his run. I was just so in awe of his discipline and motivation to do that every single day, on top of raising 4 crazy daughters and having a very mentally and physically tough job. So he was the one who actually kind of got me more into it and encouraged me to pursue the sport. Pretty much I've been running now consistently for 12 years, really because of him. I kind of thought that he just was motivated to do it every day. But I learned once I started running that it's really not motivation that drives you. I think it's just the habit that forms. I think ultimately that is one of the biggest lessons I've learned from running, is that discipline trumps motivation any day of the week. You're not always going to feel good. It's not always going to be a good day. But if you have that habit and that discipline instilled, you're always going to get out that door. Building that habit and that discipline can take some time. It's not something that just happens overnight, where you just wake up one day and you're like, yep, I'm going to start running and I'm going to do it every day and it's going to be easy. Ultimately, it's very hard initially to create that habit. But if you keep showing up for yourself, you keep doing it, even on the days you don't want to, it does eventually get easier. There's still obviously days that you don't want to do it. You know, you have to think about the feeling that running gives you. I know how good running makes me feel when I do it. Even though I may not want to do it in the moment, I know at the end of the day, I'm going to thank myself for doing that. And it's going to make me feel really, really good. And even though it's hard to build that initial habit and that discipline, eventually it does get easier, and it just ends up becoming ingrained in who you are and just such a routine in your life that it becomes a lot easier to get out the door, even on the days you don't want to. Let's do a 3-mile easy run. All right, 3 miles is done. It was a hot one today. The sun was shining, but it was nice to actually see the sun. It felt a little brighter, especially since this morning and the past couple days. Really the past week has been so gloomy. So it's actually kind of nice to get a little bit of energy from the sun and sweat a little bit more. Took it at a nice pace. I was doing like an 8:26 average, which is pretty decent. Gonna get some food and cool off. Guys, happy Wednesday. It is our workout day, so we are doing our tempo run just like we have been for the last couple weeks now. So we're doing half a mile warm up, 3 miles at 8, and a half a mile cool down. Tell me it's 92% humidity without telling me. Ooh, all right, run is done. Workout's finished for the week. Went pretty well. Even with the heat, my legs felt decent, not too heavy. I was able to stay in that 8-minute range for the full 3 miles, which is great. I'm definitely paying more attention to my watch, listening to my Garmin when it actually yells at me. So I think it was a pretty successful run. Something I did want to touch on this morning was another thing that running has taught me throughout the years, and that has to do with progress. So I think it's important to understand that progress doesn't have to be super dramatic. It doesn't always have to be a big shiny new PR or some crazy breakthrough. A lot of the times progress is slow, so it's in the days like today where you just have a really hard workout coming up, you don't want to get out the door, or you even like struggle through the workout, struggle to complete it or stay on track, but you do it anyway, and that's the real progress. Running has taught me that growth is quiet and it happens when nobody's watching, and that's the progress that's way more powerful than any shiny PR. Alrighty guys, I'm so excited. This package just arrived for me. My sister and brother-in-law are the sweetest, most kind-hearted people in the world, and they bought this for me as a surprise. I have been wanting a Ninja Creami for months now. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that I'm obsessed with my yogurt bowls and a little sweet treat at night. But recently, because of this heat, I've been really loving ice cream, and I've been buying Halo Tops because they're a little bit healthier. But I am thrilled to be able to now make them myself at home. And so this is gonna be a new obsession for me. I have seen so many cool recipes that people make online, so I'm so excited to try it. But let's get it set up. This bad boy is going right next to the fridge. Something else running has really taught me is to never underestimate myself. When I first started running, I really doubted my abilities and if I could even do it, honestly. It was just because it wasn't something I was naturally good at, so I was definitely a lot more self-conscious. And I think that's really common, is to really give up before you even had a chance to fail when you're not naturally good at something. The more I pursued running, the more I realized how much stronger I am than I ever realized. And I honestly believe that when you're not naturally good at something, just even the little improvements are so much more powerful. So running really taught me to stop criticizing myself and start appreciating. Alrighty, easy 3-mile day. Here we go. It is a beautiful day. Oh my gosh, you guys, I just had the best run ever. Which is so rare for me because I feel like I really don't feel energized by my afternoon runs, but today was something that just clicked. I was just smiling the whole run. Felt so good. I'm so happy right now. Alrighty, we are doing 8 miles this morning. Getting a long run in. We're not doing any sort of a workout. We're just gonna keep it at a nice, easy pace, whatever feels good. Let's get it done. Good morning, happy Saturday. Just finished my 8-mile run. We ran here down by the James River downtown Richmond this morning. It was absolutely glorious. Took the pace pretty slow today. Honestly, I got some pretty bad news yesterday afternoon that I was rejected from yet another job that I applied for, which has been really tough, but it leads me to my last lesson that running has taught me, and that's to never give up. Running has gotten me through the worst times of my life. The first time I trained for my marathon, I was in my second year of residency, which was some of the worst years, mentally, physically, emotionally for me. And it gave me the structure, the discipline, and it just made me feel so much better to be getting out there every day. And that's kind of what, the last couple months have been for me too, and why I really pursued this fitness journey and posting more. So I got out here today, even though I really didn't want to. I woke up this morning and just wanted to lay in bed all day, but I knew that this run would make me feel better. And so I laced up my shoes, I got it done. It was a glorious morning, and I do feel so much better.
It's so fun because the argument gets made. It's like,
Morning guys, happy Sunday. It's already almost the end of the week. Crazy, it flew by. Yesterday ended up being a super busy day for me, which I think is just what I needed after hearing the bad news about the job. So after my run, I ended up having a nice little afternoon picnic with some girlfriends, which was really nice. And then later that night, ended up meeting some people for drinks and a little bit of pizza, which is great. Some nice socializing. So feeling a little bit better emotionally this morning. Gonna kind of reevaluate some things, look at some other options today and go from there. All right, it is the last run of the week. We are just doing easy 3 miles today. Normally I run my afternoon runs after lunch, but it is gonna be getting up into the 90s today and all week for that matter. So getting it done early so I can avoid the high heat. Alright, not gonna lie, that was pretty brutal. Even though it was, under 90 degrees, it was close enough. It was like 88. Legs felt really heavy today, felt really tired in general. I think combination of a couple things, like I've been so stressed this week and haven't been sleeping well. Also obviously just had a long run yesterday and did a bigger lift this morning. So I think I'm just tired and need to just take the rest of the day to just relax. But I'm happy I got it done. Glad it's over with so that the rest of the day I can just enjoy myself and I don't have to worry about getting it over with later. Overall, I think the week went really well. I was really proud of myself for increasing the mileage a little bit, doing 8 for the first time in over a year. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how it went and how the training has been going. So I'm excited to see where the last week of base training takes me, and then we'll be moving on to some bigger and some more difficult workouts. Gonna do a little bit of stretching, have a little snack, and then probably do a little bit of meal prepping the rest of today. But yeah, that's really all I have going on. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed week 3 of marathon training, and stay tuned for week 4. Bye.